The Soweto Derby gave us a 5-goal thriller, and today we're waiting for the Bafana, the final 23-man squad. Hugo Bruce has a lot to talk about, but first and foremost, greetings, welcome back to another exciting new episode on the Diski podcast. This is your boy Walt once again. A lot of talking points also in Mamelodi Sundowns. Easily cruise again, almost forging 1,000 passes over the weekend. Before we go anywhere, before we start with the video, please again don't forget to like, subscribe, and also don't forget to share the video whenever you get the chance. Okay, let's get to it. I know this weekend was hot. The DStv Premiership gave us football galore. Masikhuluma isingabla athi football galore. Bekumnandi bafethu, I really enjoyed the fixtures. It's been exciting to cover this week, Vele, because good football, good round of fixtures to look into. Now, the even the log is starting to make sense. Log of talking points. I want to start with the Mamelodi Sundowns game versus the Chippa one. Not really exciting for me to really watch because we're still having the Soweto Derby fever. But let's get to it, man. Look, rotation is good on their part because they have a lot of players that they still need to, I guess, give a chance. I wouldn't say test out, but give a chance. It's just in my head when you talk about Mamelodi Sundowns because it's quite obvious the way it seems. They've played, I think they're playing again tomorrow, by the way, so it is to be, of course, but they're playing again at Tshwane Derby tomorrow against SuperSport, which also should be an easy match for them. Against Chippa put up the big fight. For me, the difference that I've noticed about the Sundowns team, they're dominating in ball position, chances created, and overall play. But if you've noticed, I think Chippa was playing more of a mid-block. And we know the quality is not the same. But what I've been impressed about with certain teams in the DStv Premiership against the Sundowns is those who apply themselves well. They don't concede too many goals. That's the one thing that is missing from this Sundowns squad. They have depth, they have quality, but they're not scoring enough. But a win was on the cards for them. Domination, a lot of high press. They're hungry for the ball. They always want to be on the ball. So not much to talk about it. Chippa for their side. It's a good fight. They hung on, I think, until the 78th minute or so to concede the second goal. So for them, it was just about maybe getting a draw or using counter football, but kind of dry and boring because Cameroon football already is prepared for such team who play a low or a mid block. So Sundowns as well. Good to see Thinko Matthews scoring for Sundowns. There's still a lot of players that they still need to introduce. We're still not going to see more of them. Lodge. Bonku has been iced out. I still want to see Mayema. Good to see my boy or my boy. Temba, the general, Tebuchu Mukwena. Zungu is playing a central back to a certain extent. Look, Sundowns is exceptional, guys. Really top tier. Good to see this kind of football in our local league. All the best to them. I hope this season they really come back with the Champions League because it can raise the standards, give us more slots for the championships, for CAF sports here in our local league. So all the best to them. They look really, remember, coach, the club has said, I think a lot of the time that the vision is the Club World Cup, which is playing in 2025. So the squad they're building now, hopefully by next year it would be ready. I think it's around August, July, somewhere there, where the tournament is going to be playing. I'm not sure if it's going to be before or after the AFCON. So, look, same as always, man. I wouldn't say it's boring, but it's predictable because a lot of these DStv Premiership teams are not really giving Sundowns a fight. They're not really pressing high enough for them to make mistakes or to be tested, pound for pound kind of thing. Which Chippa be same is a lot. So they've promised that a long time, but a lot of teams are not really because they understand the quality. Because if you start going pound for pound, that's when you're going to consider a lot of goals. There's not much to talk about in regards to the Sundowns teams. It's quite obvious they're chasing their 7th league. They're in their own race. they are 12 points ahead already with 2 games in hand. So it's becoming like a farmers league for me. So I think here when we talk about the other teams, we're going to be talking about who is in the running for the second spot. So yeah, that's my take. Please drop a comment. Tell me what you think. I would really like to know what do you think about Sundowns turning out DSTV Premiership into a Farmers League, because it looks like they're gonna win the 8th, 9th, 10th. The only mistake they can make is beat themselves or start making buying too many players that are unhappy. Because I feel, just my 2 cents, that sometimes when you stir the pot too much, it does really it do a lot of damage. Because Abu Mbule, they're getting older now. Mbule, who's this kid? Ooh, Kulise. He should have been in the squad right now. Should have been building a team around him, But because of the, obviously, in terms of I wouldn't say football politics, but the minutes he's getting, he's not getting enough for him to really, really look outstanding or outshining other players, because there's so many good players in one team. So it's unfortunate for him. Usiphelele Mkhulisi. So he's 26 now, I think, 25, 26, somewhere there. So I don't really think you will see him in the World Cup. And Nabo Mayem, and I would really like to see those guys. But we have too much quality in the local league itself in the midfield. So there's still a lot of players that they can make it. But it's so sad. For me, that's the downside. Apart from them winning everything. It's just, I would have liked to see him a bit more. All these big names. It's going to be a mountain for him to be seen as a player that can actually outshine the rest of the pack. So yeah, that's my take on Sundowns. I know there's a few fans on the channel who actually like to follow our videos, and kudos to you. Appreciate the love and respect. As long as you have an engagement, we respect each other. That's fine with me. Okay, the big match, the main event, Orlando Pirates versus Kaizer Chiefs. Now, remember, this was second leg or the second round of matches. Orlando Pirates was the home team, even though it was at FNB. Look, the build-up was great. We were on Twitter Spaces debating what the lineup was going to look like. It was quite interesting. I'll start with Kaizer Chiefs. Because of their win against Arrows midweek, they had 5 changes, or is it 4 changes? Don't even know why the coach chose to change the backline, because it hasn't conceded the last 8 fixtures. We saw Quinika from right back now going to the left central back. We saw Saida coming back to the starting lineup because now he was used as a sub. It was Dupree going to the center, or Modi, and Uwe Frosler was welcomed back. Obviously, Ushanti wasn't there because of his suspension, so he also was back into the lineup. Then he went with the usual Matt, Castillo, and a surprise player who has been iced out for a long time, which is Tanzania, which we don't know is because of the either it was because of a suspension that I heard about, or it was because of injury. But he hasn't really made the matchday squad for a long time, since November, I think December, the last time he played. And he walks right through, goes to the starting lineup. So that was a surprise factor from Kaizer Chiefs. On the Orlando Pirates side, the only change I think they made midweek against Cape Town Spurs, because they drew. And remember, I said in my previous video that the only difference here about the two sides was that the Kaizer Chiefs had better form. But in terms of quality, I picked Orlando Pirates to win it. And they did. To be fair, they applied themselves well. And I think this time the coach came with a very, very strong lineup, because I think he didn't start with, he started with Ward. I thought he started with Mayela. And he started with a surprise on Libito. Now, he hasn't really been getting game time. Libito on the right wing back. position. And the usual suspects, Maswangani. Oh yes, Saling was also surprised. Then really, then you have Mabasa in front, obviously playing with Makolo on the team. So there was a balanced side for me having a double pivot. So lots of game there was played, or football there was played. Surprise early goal by Utupri, because for me he's also been missing a lot of good chances, and I'd said midweek that he will get his chances, but the problem with Kaizer Chiefs, they haven't been burying the chances that they've been creating. So Utupri was a surprise. Ugutakore, then it was game, but Paris kept on pushing. Was for me the surprise is that Chiefs, I don't know if this was a tactical approach. They were looking for more counter-attacks, which the two goals came from that, but they set too deep first half most of the time, and the Pirates was having a free role of unlocking those, what is it, tight situations or spaces. Then high press, Gukwinika. That was coaching 101. We know, we've been saying that Kwinika is the weak link in the defense, and they targeted him on a high press where he was actually supposed to clear the ball or to give a long pass to switch play. He chose to give it to an incoming marked, and actually the high press got the ball, Saling put it behind the net, and they equalized. So Pirates applied themselves well in this game, man. There's not a lot to talk about, but it was an exciting game. They came back twice to win the game, and a lot of work that needs to be done with Kaizer Chiefs. A lot of players need to be, I wouldn't say sold, but it's just a lot of changes they need to make by just relaxing on Kwinika Rancane and actually using the kind of, maybe giving Luke Fleers even a chance. So CJ, for me, I don't think he's the right coach for Kaizer Chiefs. I'm so glad they made him an interim. So Gubangati, it's more of like it's an interview. More, they still trying to see if you're the right fit, and he showed that. So the last time they actually had fun is when he came with his technical team. He was actually saying these are the guys who deserve all the glory. So are those the same guys that the fans are supposed to get angry at when the results are not coming? Because the guys, some of them don't look fit enough to play 90 minutes high tempo games. Is it the conditioning coach? Is the matter of the training drills that they do, the approach and the philosophy that he's trying to instill? Because Kaizer Chiefs doesn't look like a team that practices something that is worth preparing for other teams in the DStv Premiership. To be one of the best, you have to be able to plan for each and every team to be able to beat. These players that we are seeing here today, for me, in my opinion, look average. Also, they look like players abomthetho, but figure from teams that really they're performing really well. Then they come to Kaizer Chiefs and they just look average. So the question is, that model, is it management? Is it a technical team? Is it maybe a mix of players who don't deserve to be in the team? Who knows? So there's a lot of talking points negatively that really points towards the direction of Kaizer Chiefs and Pirates, because Pirates, as much as they haven't been getting the results, they're on number 2 now. This win actually boosted their confidence. They haven't been losing matches. They've been drawing a lot where they have been playing well, to be fair on them. So now the DStv Premiership has looked interesting now, because they're fighting to go back to the CAF Champions League. They're fighting for the second spot. And the next run of matches, which is 10 matches left, all to do. We have SuperSport, we have Cape Town City, we have Stellenbosch, we have Kaizer Chiefs, we have Sekhukhune. All these teams, and TS Galaxy has 2 games in hand. All these teams I've mentioned, there's a 1 to 2 point gap. Even Nago Pirates, 2 point gap difference from 2 to 8. So it's kind of interesting to find out that that's the last 10 games, all the games that I've mentioned, whether they're playing against other bottom teams who are fighting for relegation or mid-table, all to do with the last 10 games. So it's going to be interesting. We know the Sundowns, for me, they've won it. Congratulations to them in advance. But it was an interesting game. The DStv Premiership never fails to give us exciting games. Even to, I think, Golden Arrows won. They've been playing well. So, there's there's games that you can tell I wish we could cover them, but for the derby for football, it was a sold out event. I'm really, really happy. Now, the last point I wanted to talk about today. Today, they were releasing the 23-man squad that's going to, because we're going to a FIFA break next week. 10 changes made to the 23-man squad that initially went to AFCON. So I'm guessing the coach wants to prepare a new team. Like he had said, a lot of changes, a lot of areas, a lot of positions that he was concerned about, that maybe they'd like to test out a few waters. So we are playing against Algeria and Andorra. There's a tournament that Algeria is hosting at the Nelson Mandela Stadium. It's called. So it's the national stadium. So I'm guessing that's where the tournament's going to be played this month. I'm not going to mention the whole 23. I'm going to talk about the new faces in the Bafana squad. So, for those who don't know, we have Kaizer Manyo. Finally, fans have been complaining, wanting him to go to or to be included. I'm guessing he came in for evidence, Mahopa, because he's injured. Percy Tau has been excluded. Igram Reyners has also been included this time. Remember, he was part of the backup players that were there. So now he's also included in the 23-man squad. Elias Mokwan of Sekukune also included in the squad. We have Supersport Grant Mahaman. This time we have Ungezana. I'm thinking he's replacing either Umvala or this guy from Supersport Tukulu. Sianda Tukulu. I'm glad I'm not going to see them. So for Kaizer Chiefs fans, I'm sure they're happy to see Ngeza finally get a chance. He's been playing well in the Romanian league. Actually, they've won. So I'm thinking what they do is the top 6 there in the Roman league, they divide the points if they've played all the matches, and they play playoffs to qualify for the Champions League. It's a bit confusing, but we'll get to that when we have the time. And we have Bruce Vuma finally getting his chance as well. So Uveli Mutwa has been excluded this time. And good defense and good midfield is their new name. Oh yeah, there's this guy from Amazulu, Umbanjwa. I think Umhlonipa or Hlonipi Mbanja from Amazulu has also been included. So I think he came in for Jaden Adams. But the rest of the squad, we've got he's been injured, so I think Tapolo Moren has been fitting for him. Terence Mashiro was there the other time, so Tapolo Troke this time has also been included. So those are the new faces for the Bafana squad. I think I've mentioned them. You'll guys leave a comment in the section if I have actually forgotten but someone. So it's going to be an interesting site. We don't have tall players this time, so hopefully we're not going to be playing long balls when you get strong into a position like Algeria. So it's going to be interesting for me. That's the one time I'm happy because I'm a Kaizer Chiefs fan who's always crying. So watching Bafana this time is going to be interesting, especially with the new players, combinations, and the build-up to next year when you're playing against Nigeria this year, I think around June, playing against, I think for World Cup qualification. So the players, I'm happy, not too happy about Grant Mahaman, no, oh my God, who's this guy from Sugukun on the right back? I don't know, he keeps on getting lucky. But I'm interested to see how Kaizer Mayo, because he has been in the squad for me. I'm not saying anything. He's been in the squad, yeah? So probably this is a new Mayo because he's part of the leading goal scorers in the TSTV Premiership. So let's give him a chance. Let's see what he can produce. And hopefully this time we have better quality in terms of bench-wise and the starting lineup. We will see a different kind of energy and quality and hunger, because obviously they've been talks about Utah not giving us enough. So you'll see for yourself. So those friendlies are just at least a test to see if, oh yes, I've got one player, Goodman Musela from Chippa. So those are the kind of players that he has also been there. So for me, it's just about being able to have a team that is competent enough to play against really good opposition. So yeah, guys, that's what I have for you for this week. Tell me what you think. Are you happy about the 23-man squad? Do you feel that there's a player who was overlooked? What about Kaizer Chiefs fans? Do you feel like maybe there's one or two players apart from Uprus who could have been selected? Pirates well represented as well, but do you feel maybe there was more players And you guys think maybe we just go with Sundowns 11 instead of just selecting a few players? Tell me what you think. Look, we're back, guys. Ski Chat is back. That's all I have for this week. And yeah, man, let's talk this week again, because obviously we have Nedbank this week playing, so we're going to cover a few matches. Chiefs is not there, unfortunately, so I'm going to be covering the Pirates and the Sundowns games coming. Thank you so much. Let's see you guys on the next video. Sharp, sharp.